It's 94 days to the December 7th general election, and it's time to make your vote count. However, to make the right choice, you need to be informed, and that's why, as your election headquarters, we make it a duty to break down the key policy proposals political parties are making. Well, we have been unpacking the key policies of the largest opposition party, the NDC. Key among their proposal is the creation of a 24-hour economy, 3 shifts, 3 people, 1 job. We would be discussing that further today because they're also making other proposals, key among them, to deal with illegal mining. But just to refresh your minds, on your screens now is a breakdown of the key proposals they are making. We know that so far they have made 680 proposals, and we would be breaking that down with Sammy Gyamfi in the studio. Well, I have with me Sammy Gyamfi. He is the National Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress. Thank you so much for your time here on News Desk. Well, we'll be breaking down some of the key policies shortly, and it will come on your screens. But let's start with fallout from yesterday. Some of the key things that came up was the renewed commitment to deal with illegal mining. But as a country, we've been promised this before. In 2017, President Akufo-Addo put his presidency on the line. He promised us that he would deal with illegal mining. Years down the line, we're worse than when we started. We cannot even have water to drink. And so we're wondering what new approach would the NDC put in the fight against illegal mining? I'll come to you for your response, but then I told on my screens now, just a key point at some of the promises the NDC have made so far, at least 68 promises. And we told you key among them is the policy proposal to ensure that they run a 24-hour economy. The next will be coming up on your screen shortly. Well, this is just a breakdown of the number of promises they've made over the period. And we are now at 2024, which is 680. I'm keen on the policy recommendations. They say they want to create a 24-hour economy, re-engage with the IMF. They've raised concerns about the current deal we're enjoying with the IMF. They say that it could be better, and it's something they're looking at working at. They also want to constitute a public debt management office. They say that the current debt is not sustainable. Hence, they want to put together a management office that will deal with this. They want to give you free education if you're a level 100 student. They are planning to scrap ex gratia and also taking into consideration the affirmative action, 30% of women in political appointments. So let me come to Sammy Gyamfi as we get their thoughts about how they plan to fight illegal mining differently.
Well, a very good morning to our cherished viewers. I'm not surprised at all that the country is faced with this ever-increasing MPP-led Galamsey menace, which today threatens our collective survival as a people. I mean, you couldn't have put it better when you said that today, even access to potable water is threatened because of the devastation that this illegal mining menace has caused to our water bodies. We all run the risk of extinction in the next few years if this canker is not nipped in the bud. So what the NPP came to do was to kill, to steal, and to destroy. They had no genuine commitment to the fight against illegal mining. All the flowery talk you heard from President Akufo-Addo at the time and putting the presidency on the line were all scams. There was no line. There was no commitment to fight illegal mining in the first place. In fact, there was no fight. It was all a ruse, all a charade to kick out Ghanaians who were engaged in small-scale mining and have NPP apparatchiks and government officials take over the illicit Galamsey trade. That was the game plan. And they hoodwinked you in the media, those in civil society, and Ghanaians at large, to believe in this 419 Galamsey promise of theirs. And you all fell for it. And that is why they have been able to implement this evil game plan to the letter, because they were not being checked. We saw through the deception right from the get-go, and we told you, we warned that, look, these guys are not committed to the illegal mining fight. They are not. You recall that in the wake of their so-called fight against illegal mining, you recall that they banned excavators.
Yeah.
Many excavators. Some of these excavators belong to not illegal miners, but Ghanaians who were doing illegal small-scale mining. But they banned small-scale mining in general. So whether you had a license or not, you were disallowed from engaging in your legitimate business. And they banned your excavators. They even killed some small-scale miners in the process. I even recall the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Wise, saying on the floor of the House that small-scale miners who were still mining at the time the ban on small-scale mining was enforced should be murdered. We recall all that, okay? It was all part of the theatrics, okay? The deception. What did we see after? What we saw after was MPP officials, government officials who we pay to lead the fight, to champion the fight against illegal mining, and to protect our environment, themselves engaging in illegal mining. So you saw the Galamsey fraud documentary by Tiger IPI of ANAS, which exposed the secretary of the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining, Charles Bissiou, as collecting bribes from illegal miners to promote. And most of these illegal miners were not even Ghanaians, they were Chinese. You understand? And he was shielded by the president. He was cleared by the president. Today, he's a parliamentary candidate for the MPP because they have benefited from his illegal activities. Then we saw part 2 of the Galamsey fraud investigations of Anas Arimeyaw Anas. We also saw, a sitting Minister of State in charge of the environment, Professor Frimpong Boateng, caught on tape in a conversation with the former vice chairman of the MPP in the Central Region, Akufo-Addo, discussing missing excavators. And you hear Akufo-Addo, MPP vice chairman at the time in the Central Region, saying that, oh, you told us that party here ska, so we should give some of the excavators to John Buodu and the boys. So this was a free-for-all venture for MPP officials. They were just scrambling over each other to grab concessions belonging to legal small-scale miners. They took over and they decided to do the illegal mining, not even at those concessions, but in water bodies, in forest reserves and so on. So everybody's involved. And Frimpong Boateng himself has come out to confess. You recall his 33-page report, which he leaked, which captures presidential staffers, ministers of state, members of parliament, MPP regional executives, neck deep, okay, in the illegal Galamsey mining. So what is going on is not the normal Galamsey phenomenon we've known all these years. Galamsey has been with us for decades, but it's been at a very small scale level where you have a few individuals engaging in that. This time around, you have duty bearers, government officials, those with the money to buy many excavators and all that, themselves doing the illegal mining. And that is why the problem cannot be solved so long as Bawumia, Akufo-Addo, and the MPP continue to stay in office. The only way we can deal with this problem is for the people of this country to vote for change, to boot them out, because they have proven that they can't fight illegal mining. They came to enrich themselves. Look. So
what different approach would the NDC adopt in the fight against illegal mining?
Very, very simple. We have said that we are going to wage a ruthless fight against illegal mining and roll out a comprehensive plan to reclaim our devastated water bodies, the polluted lands and forest reserves. We're going to reclaim all that. And we're going to do that through 2 major initiatives. One is the Tree for Life initiative, which John Mahama has spoken about. And one is the Blue Water Project. The Blue Water Project will seek to reclaim the polluted water bodies that today are looking as brown as mercury. There is a documentary that one of your former colleagues, Araba Kumsin, did some time back, where she compared the state of River Nkobra as at 2016 when Mahama was in office to the state of River Nkobra at the time she did that editorial. And if you see that documentary, you will weep because the water was crystal clear under John Mahama. Very beautiful, a sight to behold. And today you look at that same River Nkobra and the water is as brown as chocolate. Same for River Brim in the eastern region, Akufo-Addo's own backyard, same as the Pra River. And this is the reason why Ghanaians in the central and western region don't have water flowing through their taps. That is the reason why Ghana Water Company is saying that now the turbidity levels of these water bodies is such that they can't even treat it. They can't treat it. And we have to import water. And we are feeling it in Greater Accra. We are feeling it in other parts of the country. And if you understand the geological science behind the movement of water, then you know that in no time, all parts of the country will be confronted with this same problem. What is even worse is not the fact that we can't get water and we will have to import water to drink, to bath. What is even worse is that now innocent Ghanaians are developing serious health challenges because of these menace. They are drinking lead, cyanide, mercury polluted water bodies, and it's beginning to destroy the fetus of pregnant women. There's been a scientific study that has been published on that by a medical doctor that shows that women, pregnant women in these areas where water bodies have been polluted with mercury and all that have deformed fetus. You understand? You have children. I have traveled to the Pra, enclave to do a press conference there with the media, and I saw firsthand. This is not hearsay. I saw with my naked eyes children suffering from all manner of skin diseases.
So you also say that
from that. So what we're going to do is that through the Blue Water Initiative and Tree for Life program, first of all, we need to reclaim the devastated forest reserves.
Would you send task force to the ground?
And all that, and turn these devastated areas into ecological and economic hubs for job creation. So
in
what we're going to do there,
will you send the task force to the grounds?
And we're planting rubber, we're planting cashew, we're planting cocoa, and we're going to use technology to reclaim these polluted water bodies. That is the starting point. The second point is that we're going to ban new mining activities in forest reserves. So under the next John Mahama government, no new mining lease will be awarded for any mining activity in a forest reserve. Okay. Yes, we know that Newmont and those engaged in large-scale mining, some of them have legal concessions in mining reserves, but that will be the end. We are not going to, because we need to protect those forest reserves. It is said that when the last tree dies, the last man dies. We human beings or human life is interdependent on plant life. This is trite, is a no-brainer. And so we cannot continue the devastation, the destruction of our forest reserves. We are going to protect that. We are going to also review the mineral and mining law to impose stricter punishments on mining in water bodies. Yes, it's a crime now, but it's just a normal crime as any form of illegal mining. But John Mahama in the NDC think that for mining in water bodies, it should be elevated to the level of a second-degree felony offense. That is how serious we look at it. Those who mine in water bodies, those who destroy water, which is life, in search of gold, are criminals. They are more than murderers. Yes, that is who they are. And it is even worse when they are government officials, when they are MPP apparatchiks. We are not going to make mining the preserve of a few privileged people. No, we're going to open up the space, and we are going to decentralize the regulatory procedures so that it is easy for people to go through the process, due process, and get licenses to mine. So under us, mining will not be the preserve of MPP people or NDC people. Any Ghanaian who wants to go into legal, responsible mining will be allowed to do so. Just follow the law. We're going to set up what we call the Gold Board to regulate small-scale mining. We're going to decentralize the licensing process. You can apply and go through that process even at your district. And it is fair, transparent. But we are going to insist that you undergo the necessary training. We're going to help them even with the procurement of equipment and all that. But we will insist that you go through training on responsible mining and land reclamation. We are going to insist that you don't mine in water bodies. If you do that, your license will be revoked whether or not you are John Mahama's brother.
So these are with small-scale miners. I'm quite interested with illegal mining because that you say that you're waging war. Would you be deploying a task force on the ground?
It's not about, you see, it's not about sending soldiers after anybody. It's about enforcement. Look, the president has representatives in all districts in the form of MNDCs who are heads of DISEC. They head the security apparatus there. The president has regional ministers who are heads of RESEC. They have the army at their disposal. They have the police at their disposal. Why do we need all these kind of amorphous task force? Do you know how much this corrupt government has spent on Galamstop, Operation Vanguard? All of these so-called task force ended up being agents of Galamsey, promoters of Galamsey. You understand? So I don't think that John Mahama is going to adopt that same approach. You allow Galamsey in your district, you lose your job. It's as simple as that. Somebody has to pay. Somebody has to answer. The whip will be cracked no matter whose ox is God. Whether you are a chief, and your mama has said it. You cannot have a mining business and still serve in his government, even if that business is a legitimate legal business, because we don't want conflict of interest. So he said it publicly that if you want to do legal mining, don't take a position in his government. You are not welcome. Go and do your legal mining. If you want to serve in his government, then you cannot be engaged in legal mining. Because you will say that, oh, I'm doing legal mining, and at the same time, I'm a government official. If you break the law, it is difficult for law enforcers to come after you because you are in a position of influence. And we don't want to be in a position where the fight against illegal mining will be compromised. Look, this is not an NDC, MPP matter. Where things have got into, this is about life. This is about our sustenance, our survival. This is about the health of our nation. It's about the health of women, children. It is a human crisis, what we are confronted with. And so, take it from me, it is not going to be business as usual. And mark my words, read my lips. All the MPP government officials and apparatchiks who have been at the forefront of this shameless, evil, criminal, illegal Galamsey menace will pay for their crimes. None of them will go scot-free. Mark my words. None of them. And I've told people in the good people of Cape Coast North, you vote for a Kwawusi to be your member of parliament, you're going for a by-election because he's a jailbird. There is no way that that guy will get away with the thievery of over 500 excavators seized, in some cases from legal small-scale miners. And we have evidence, he himself caught on tape, confessing about how he distributed these excavators to party people because party here sika. I will not even forgive the next NDC government if that guy was scot-free. And the same thing applies to people like Charles Bisi. If they think that by using their loot to acquire parliamentary seats, they will be going scot. In any case, they are not going to win. But should they even win, those seats will not be a shield against their prosecution under the next NDC Mahama government. So, John Mahama is a no-nonsense man when it comes to these things. He will spare no one, including his own appointees. Look, this is a man who has seen it all. He's seen it all. He is not motivated by money. He's been deputy minister, he's been minister, he's been MP for 3 terms, he's been vice president, he's been president, he's been blessed. The only reason why John Mahama is motivated to stand for president again is because he is grateful for the many opportunities the people of this country have given him. And he feels duty bound to serve. Now that necessity is laid on him to come to the rescue of this nation, because where we are requires a steady, experienced hand to steer us out of the mess we've been plunged into by Bawumia, Akufo-Addo, and the MPP.
Let's talk about the 24-hour economy.
He is more interested in leaving an enduring legacy that he'll be proud of than to allow a few people in his party or in his government to tarnish his legacy by engaging in Galamsey. It won't happen under John Mahama. You can count on my word on this.
And we'll hold you accountable.
Of
Let's
course.
talk
Keep
about
the
24-hour economy. Just a few weeks back, you told us about your plan, 3 shifts, 1 job. But then the leader of the new force, Nana Kwame Bediako, has cast doubt on the feasibility of this promise. He says that for it to be effective, you need to, first of all, work on industrialization. What's the NDC response to this critic?
He's right, but look, industrialization must not precede a 24-hour economy. A 24-hour economy must precede industrialization. I don't know why people don't get this. It's so simple. The 24-hour economy is not an end in itself, it's a means to an end. Okay. So you want to promote industrialization. John Mahama is saying that put in the right framework, the policy framework, that will allow those industries to operate 24/7. What is so difficult about this? That people cannot understand. You want to set up factories, right? So John Mahama says that when he comes, he will look at the comparative advantage of every region and set up agro-industrial zones where government is going to take tracts of land, do the roads that leads to the place, provide the necessary utilities, electricity and water, and businesses can just come and take spaces and set up their factories to process what is produced in those regions, be it cocoa, cashew, cassava, tomato, onions, share, and so on, cotton and so on, right? Yeah. Now, John Mahama is saying that those factories should not work 8 hours because the demand is high for those factories. We need more tomato paste. We need more processed cocoa, more processed cashew, more processed starch, gari, all those things. We need them because we are importing 99% of these commodities from outside, and it is putting unbearable pressure on our currency. That is what is leading to the structural, deepening the structural challenges that continue to make our cedi, depreciate. So he says that, look, the demand is there. So why should a business, if you leave the businessman to his own fate, he will only operate for 8 hours because he's thinking about, how am I going to pay my workers? Hey, utility will kill me. Hey, taxes. So me, I'll set up the factory and work 8 hours. So John Mahama says, this is where my 24-hour economy strategy comes in. I'm giving you tax incentives that will reduce your cost of production, your cost of doing business, so that you can scale up production. I am reducing electricity costs for you through what is called a time of use tariff. So that for every kilowatt of power you consume per hour, you are paying far cheaper during night hours than what you pay during peak hours to motivate you to work in the night, like it pertains in the advanced jurisdiction. Oh, you are producing for non-traditional exports. That is why I set up Exim Bank. So I will use Exim Bank to provide you with financing support at a very cheap rate, because if that businessman goes to the bank, he's getting credit at 35–40%. He can't pay. But your mama is giving you Exim Bank facility and you're paying 5% or less. So I'm giving you financing support. Okay? So tax incentive, financing support, security, patrol services. I'm also giving you an agro-industrial enclave with amenities. You are not going to think about land litigation in deciding to set up a factory in Ghana because government has acquired the land. You are not thinking about, how do I get a good road to the factory? How do I get utility? Government is providing it. So then that businessman who is going to set up that manufacturing company or industry now sees that, oh, beyond 8 hours, I can do 16 hours. I can do 24 hours because the enabling environment has been provided me by government. And businesses are in business for profit. So once the atmosphere and the environment is congenial, commonsensically, they will operate 24 hours. And by operating 24 hours, if they were going to produce 1,000 cartons a month under an 8-hour shift, they are going to now produce 3,000 cartons because they are doing 3 shifts of 8 hours each, 24/7. If they were going to employ 1,000 people, they are going to employ 3,000 people. So that is why this is so simple. The 24-hour economy policy is the simplest to understand. Formula 133, 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. So simple. And that is what New York has done. That is what London has done.
And that's
that is what advanced countries
do.
That is what we are not hoping to do. That is what we will do. Because you see, 24-hour economy is not a manifesto promise. It's a well thought through national development strategy. That is why, even before we thought of capturing it in our manifesto, we had first captured it in the 40-year development plan we developed in the year 2016. So organized labor, who are not NDC, MPP, who know better than what is his name? Kwaku Bediako, is that his name?
Nana Kwame Bediako.
Nana Kwame Bediako. They say it is a game changer, right? Federation of Labor says this is what Ghana needs. The Institute for Economic Affairs, owned by G. Mensah's husband, they say 24-hour economy is apt for a developing country like Ghana. All of them, even the Minister of Health in this government, MPP's Dr. Kuboy, he says that if somebody tells you that 24-hour economy is not possible, the person is a liar. Even they are saying it. So this is what Ghana needs. You see, we must learn to build consensus over certain things because of partisan politics. Okay, we must not disagree over everything. If the thing is good for the country, it doesn't matter if the idea is emanating from the NDC. Say that it is good. How can you say that working 8 hours is better than working 24 hours for a country in bankruptcy? A country that cannot pay its debt. If we continue to work 8 hours, how many years will it take us for us to come out of bankruptcy? How many years? Because with the 8-year work shift system, we are in bankruptcy. And now we want to work more to increase the GDP. What is the GDP? That's the gross domestic product, right? It's a function of production. How do you produce more? By working for more. And people are saying, no, don't work hard. Don't work hard. Be lazy. Work 8 hours. It doesn't make sense.
Let's talk about another key proposal that came up yesterday during the press conference, which is to create specialized courts to deal with individuals.
But before we go there,
corporate in terms of the Auditor General report, the PAC meeting, we're seeing some sort of commitment from the NDC this time to fight corruption. So expatiate on that.
Well, you see, the good thing about this NDC manifesto and about our campaign in general is not the fact that we are making promises that resonate with the people, right? Yet the policies and promises are sound, well thought through, far-reaching, sensible policies. Like Franklin Kujo of Imani said, relatable, easy to understand policies. But you see, the good thing about that is the commitment level of John Mahama and the credibility he brings to the table. John Mahama has gone beyond producing a manifesto to actually give you his first 120-day social contract. That is a man who means business. That is a man who is coming to give us a new sense of leadership, to provide a paradigm shift and to reset our nation. Because where we are does not, forget about what people say about upgrade. Do you want the hardships you're going through upgraded? Do you want the corruption and the state capture going on around us upgraded? No. You want to see a change. You want to see a total U-turn. You want to see an overhaul. You want to see a fundamental change in the direction this nation is moving in. And that is what John Mahama is promising. And he's giving you timelines, measurable timelines. You understand? So this special cause is an answer, a solution to the perennial problem of adverse findings of the Auditor General and the Public Accounts Committee that never gets acted upon because nobody's interested in pursuing it. This time we want a special court. Look, if you check the Auditor General's report from 2017 to 2022 for public boards and corporate bodies, we've lost over 60 billion cedis through financial sector irregularities. 60 billion. 60 billion minus 2023 and 2024. Imagine what this money could have done for Ghana. These monies which have ended up in private pockets, in the bank accounts, and under the bears of a few privileged, selfish, greedy MPP politicians. Imagine. We are a nation with just 4 MRI machines. 4 in our state hospitals. A nation that we can't even provide dialysis machines for our major teaching hospitals like Kolebu and Akufo-Addo. That is the state of our health institutions. And yet people are grabbing, to quote Kennedy Japan, like there is no tomorrow. They are stealing everything. They are stealing lands, they are stealing money, they are stealing everything. So we need to make corruption and high-risk activity by bringing the necessary deterrence to bear on all those who engage in corruption by punishing wrongdoing. That is why John Mahama says the days of the clearing agent will come to an end on the 7th of January 2025 when he's sworn in. He will shield nobody, be it past or present.
I'm glad you make mention of that.
That will be
Before you make that point, let me just bring this in. There has been concerns by a lot of people. The NDC's posture when it comes to fighting corruption. This time we're seeing it very loud. You're out there, you're renewed. But Sedina Temaklo, she was former boss of Maslock. She has been prosecuted for causing financial loss to the state, the tune of 90 million Ghana cedis. She was jailed for 10 years. She's currently outside the country, serving that term in absentia. Has the NDC officially made attempts to bring her to the country to serve her term?
Are we law enforcement? Are we Interpol?
But then you're showing commitment to fighting corruption. We just want to see, are you willing to crack the whip at home?
How can a political party bring somebody who is outside the country to Ghana? We have no problem with the prosecution of our own people because we even prosecuted our own, right? And we retrieved monies from our own. In the Jida matter, we retrieved 50 million for Ghana. We prosecuted our own appointee. It pains me all the time. Anytime I have to make reference to that. We did that, so we don't have any problem. So if this government thinks that somebody has done something wrong and they prosecute them, just that in the case of Sedinam, she didn't get the opportunity to be heard. That is the only thing. I would have loved it if she had a hearing. Okay, that is the only unfortunate. I would have really loved it if because you can't judge a man on head. Yeah. So even though the court was of the opinion that she waived that right, I think that maybe if she had been heard, the verdict might have been different. But that we will leave the due process and the legal processes to resolve that. But John Mahama's commitment to the fight against corruption is unquestionable, is unassailable. There's a man who even asks a deputy minister in his government to resign, not for engaging in any act of corruption, but for merely dreaming of making $1 million, merely dreaming about it and talking about it in a casual manner with a friend. You understand? That is how high the standard of the fight against corruption was under him. He served this nation in many roles. I'm talking about John Mahama. Yet not a scintilla of evidence of wrongdoing has been established against him. In spite of all the lies they heaped on him today, he's been vindicated by God and posterity. And he remains squeaky clean. He remains incorruptible. So he's been tried and tested, and therefore he can prosecute others because he himself has been investigated and he's been cleared in the Airbus matter. And he's gone through the fire of accountability and he's come out unscathed. And so he can take his appointees and the MPP. Look, how can Bawumia prosecute Akufo-Addo and his cabal of family and friends for engaging in corruption? How? He can't. Because Akufo-Addo is like his God. That is his mentor. That is his boss. That is the man who took him from a place of oblivion and brought him into limelight. He can prosecute them. In any case, he is worse, 10 times more corrupt than Akufo-Addo. And he's a beneficiary of all the shady deals. So his hands are dirty. How can he fight corruption? That is why John Mahama says a vote for Bawumia is a 10-10 vote for Akufo-Addo. A vote for Bawumia is an expression of your satisfaction with the ongoing state capture and corruption. A vote for Bawumia is a vote to shield wrongdoers and corrupt people, to get away with their crimes and to go and enjoy their loot. The only way we can see prosecutions, we can see retrieval of stolen funds is when you vote for John Mahama, for him to come and implement oral Operation Recover All Loot. And we are going to recover it from the PDS scam to the National Cathedral pits to the ambulance paper scandal, to the SkyTrain scandal, to the Pualugu Dam scandal. All these billions of Ghana cedis paid for no work done, paid under shady, sleazy, corrupt deals, paid under illegal, opaque, inflated sole source contracts to companies, including companies owned by Bawumia's brothers. The only way we can retrieve those monies is when you vote for change. So we have an important choice to make. But my sister, it's not just about fighting corruption and fighting illegal mining. We are also interested in providing a respite for Ghanaians because Ghana have what. The hardship in the system is real. the hardship in the system. And until we deal with that, we reduce cost of living and cost of doing business, we will not be able to create jobs. Today, all the businesses are leaving. Nivea has left Ghana. Lipton Tea has left. Big Pen has left. Jumia Foods has left. Glovo has left. All of them. And they are not leaving to US. They are leaving to Nigeria. They are leaving to next door Cote d'Ivoire. Why? Because the business climate in Ghana has become so hostile. The taxes are killing them.
What's the NDC stance when it comes to tax waivers?
No, we want to review the tax waiver regime and bring transparency, competitiveness, fairness, and make sure that tax exemptions align with our development goals, align with technology transfer. So now the tax waiver regime has become business for the NPP. They go to businessmen and say, look, you have to pay so much taxes. We'll give you a waiver, give us 10%. So it's a business for them. That's what they're doing. And tax waivers that the state benefits nothing from. We are not going to do that. But more importantly, those who need waivers are the ordinary citizens, not only the multinationals. So we are scrapping COVID levy. It is a senseless tax because it is unconscionable to turn a disease into a tax. My sister, do we have malaria levy?
No, we don't.
What about typhoid levy? We don't. We don't have HIV levy. Why must we have COVID levy? And I see that is not bad enough. Why must we continue to pay COVID levy 2 years after COVID ended? Why? In the whole world, which nation, which government is charging its people COVID levy?
But that's a source of revenue for government.
Only the wicked Bawumia-led economic management team. Hold on. So let me finish the tax scraps because we committed to scrapping draconian taxes to ease hardships. We scrap COVID levy, we'll scrap the E-levy or the Momo tax, we'll scrap the 10% bet winnings levy, and we're going to scrap the emissions levy. It is double taxation because we already pay sanitation and pollution levy. And so it doesn't make sense to pay emissions levy, which is another form of pollution. Then, aside that, we are giving a 2-year tax holiday, corporate tax and personal income tax holiday to newly incorporated small and micro businesses. Because we want them to at least have a moratorium of 2 years to establish themselves properly before they pay taxes. Most of the times, we kill these businesses in their nascent years with taxes. John Mahama says no. 2 years, you're paying no taxes to encourage more people, especially the youth, to establish these small and micro businesses. We are also going to review the VAT regime by abolishing the 3% VAT rate, and we're going to introduce a standard uniform tax VAT regime. But more importantly, we're going to exempt micro and small businesses from the payment of VAT. And we are also going to rationalize port fees and charges to reduce the payments at the ports, okay, to bring down inflation. So these are the tax measures. Beyond that, we are also going to roll out certain social interventions to cushion the poor and the vulnerable because people are suffering. And the first on the list is the no-fee stress policy, which will be rolling out within our first 120 days, and which is going to ensure that effective 2025, no first-year students in a public tertiary institution, be it polytechnic, technical university, college of education, nursing training, will pay academic fees. No one will pay. Government is absorbing that. Government is also going to provide a student loan plus for continuing students to access loans to support the payment of their fees. And John Mahama is also going to provide free tertiary education for all persons with disability from first year to final year.
And we cannot wrap up the conversation.
But at least let me tell you about my favorite.
But then, as we wrap up the conversation, let's look at your commitment ahead of the December 7 election. The EC has admitted that. Indeed. Don't worry. We're meeting the anomalies in the...
We're meeting the EC on the 6th of September.
Okay. They have admitted that they made some mistakes.
On the 6th. I don't want to jump in good faith. Audit. We have serious issues that will shock the nation because we've done our own investigations, preliminary. But in good faith, we wrote to them asking for a meeting. They've granted our request. They've called us for a meeting on the 6th. I believe that should be Friday, right?
Yes.
So let's go for the meeting. It will not be fair to discuss those issues even before the meeting. So you wait for that meeting. But I just want to end because I'll be remiss if I don't talk about the Mahama Cares initiative. No, I can do that in 30 seconds.
Okay, 30
because
seconds.
You'll be interested in.
30 seconds.
Do you know anybody who is suffering from diabetes? Do you know anybody suffering from a chronic disease like kidney failure or like a heart condition or hypertension or sickle cell? There is good news coming. John Mahama is saying that we need to care for our sick because a nation that doesn't care for the sick is sick. And these people are dying because they can't pay for the high cost of their treatment. Government must intervene. That is why governments exist. And so we are intervening with the Mahama Cares initiative, a special fund which will be established by John Mahama to support the cost of health care of all persons suffering from chronic diseases such as kidney failure, such as hypertension and other heart diseases, such as diabetes and sickle cell, such as cancers. So that if you know anybody in your family suffering from that, tell them that change is coming, hope is coming. They should be part of the struggle for change. The next election, which comes off in the next 94 days, is not an election between the NDC and the NPP. No, it's an election between good and evil, light and darkness. It's an election between the NPP and Ghana. And Ghana must win.
Thank you, Sammy Gyamfi. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We have to leave the studios. You're watching Joy News 6. We'll be back after this quick breather.